Hello, it's time for another episode of Discipleship Today. My name is Bob Benson. I pastor Christ Lutheran Church in Bemis Point. We've been talking about discipleship. We've been talking about the importance of discipleship. I wanted to share a little bit of my story. I've personally benefited from discipleship from other people. And you always want to be discipled by somebody a little bit older, but my experience was a little bit different. I had a younger guy, a couple years younger than me, really grab a hold of me and start to pour in. But he was more mature in his faith than I was. And really, that's what it's all about. I owe gratitude to a whole bunch of different people who grabbed a hold of me and poured in. They gave of their time, they gave of their effort, they gave of all sorts of things, of their wisdom, so I could grow in my faith and become a disciple maker myself. And that personal experience now leads me to invest in a whole bunch of other people. I have 7 regular discipleship meetings a week where I'm pouring into people, and it's not always the younger guys. It's amazing how God has reversed that role now. I'm younger than a couple of people that I disciple. But as leaders, that's what we need to be aware of. We need to be aware that everyone is longing for a relationship. And in Christ, we're supposed to develop those relationships. We're supposed to pour in, because it's not just about disciple making. It's about making disciple-making disciples. And quite often I will ask my disciples, who is it that you're pouring into, to make sure that they're making that next step. And it takes time, it takes effort, and sometimes it takes years of pouring in to see people develop spiritually. But I desire to encourage each leader to realize that it's a privilege to facilitate that. It's a God-given gift to make these relationships and disciple through them. Christ had 72 men that he poured into, that followed him at some point. And he sent those 72 out to do ministry in Luke 10. He handpicked 12 of those to be apostles. That's in Luke 16:13. Those 12 entered on the last and highest stage of discipleship when they were chosen by their master from the mass of his followers. And then, interestingly enough, he has this close relationship with 3, Peter, James, and John. When he went deep into the garden, who went with him? Peter, James, and John. When he went into to raise Jairus' daughter, who went into the room with him? Peter, James, and John. He had these inner 3 that he really invested heavily into, and they knew things, and they witnessed things that the other disciples hadn't. And I was challenged early on in the process to put names into those places, the 3, the 12, the 72. And now those names have changed over the years, but I still have that concept of the 3, the 12, the 72. And I would ask you, who's your 3 that have complete access to your life and you have complete access to their life? Who are the 12 that you're living life with? And who are the 72 that you know well enough, you have enough of a relationship with, that you would send them to do something for you in your name? And I continually am reevaluating that. And I think that's an interesting way for us to see if we're being obedient and how effective we're being, to constantly do that. I would ask you to do that. Try and put names down. Don't get stuck on the numbers, the 3, the 12, the 72. But I would encourage you. And they're not people necessarily that you want to hang out with. They're people that God leads into your life. So for discipleship today, I would encourage you to be a disciple-making disciple. Thank you for taking the time to watch.